Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, friends. Hello, and welcome to this week's Monkey Nut Punch podcast. And unlike most weeks, I haven't got Nigel with me. I lost him. I think he's down the back of the sofa or behind the fridge.
I thought he was. I
maybe-
heard he was doing unspeakable things to donkeys.
No, that was you.
Well, no. Now he's away, so we can accuse him of doing unspeakable things to donkeys.
Someone's found his lucky charms, and he's fighting them with a knife at the moment. That's what's happened. Hello, Keith. How we doing?
I'm fine, buddy. How are you?
Oh, I'm all right. Just suffering a little, shall we say? And we'll leave it at that. But we got some bits to talk about this week. We've got Peacemaker, which came out finally in the UK, so I could watch it. So I watched all of that this week, which was good and entertaining. The Halo TV series came out, which you watched, which I haven't watched. I've heard some horrific things, shall we say, about it. We got Star Trek Old Man. I don't know what's going on with that. It's starting to make less and less sense the more I watch it, which is not how things go. It's supposed to build like a picture, maybe a bigger picture of things going on. John Delancey. I love watching John Delancey. That's all I can say about Picard. And then you watched The Batman, and I need to know what your opinion was. I want to know if it was me having the arse with it, because Babster texted me last week, and me and Nigel covered this, where he's like, "Oh, I really enjoyed it." I didn't enjoy it, and here's the reasons why. I picked it apart. So I need to know if that's me or that's something else. Anywho. Let's get on with the first one. Let's talk about Peacemaker. So
Definitely talk about that.
Yes. First things first. My wife loves that intro.
I quite like the intro. It's the bit at the end with the eagle, because the eagle has to be present like that, but it's the way it then takes a step forward. So don't look at them.
Like, I'm just off my mark. Let me just get on my mark.
It has absolutely no business being there, right? When you look at it at the series as a whole. But I know that What's-His-Face likes to do strange shit like this. And I kind of like the intro. It's wacky. It's batshit crazy. And I like the music. So I like Peacemaker. I enjoyed Peacemaker. I thought, as a TV series, it was pretty fucking good.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I enjoyed watching Peacemaker. It was, how can I put it? First TV show that I've watched in a while that I could describe as competent, written. There were a few things in there that didn't need to be in there. The I can't remember, the black girl, Amanda Waller's daughter, didn't need to be a lesbian. Didn't add anything to the story, and you employed someone from another life, which was really silly, because no one should work after doing that ever again.
The lesbian storyline did not have any change to the story. It didn't bring anything to the story. So yeah, I agree with you there, but I forgave it mainly because the rest of the character was okay. All right. I think we just have to accept that at the moment, modern day Hollywood, we're going to have stupid shit like this. But whereas in most other things, it really detracts from the story, this didn't. You can sit here and have a very good argument as to what was it doing there in the first place. And I would agree with you, but it didn't detract so much from the story. They did not spend an enormous amount of time on it. Oh, you don't love me, lesbian relationship problems. They didn't do that. They had a little bit of it, but not a huge amount. If that makes any sense.
It's strange. One of my favorite characters in it was the vigilante character.
It's quite
He was great. He was like their version of Deadpool without the regeneration ability. He was mad because you saw him and you knew at the beginning when you saw him, he was vigilante straight away, because the way he's acting in the restaurant. It was, Peacemaker's back. Oh, mate's back. We're going to blow shit up and whatnot.
I suppose The bit that I really liked was that first scene when he goes to talk to the dad in the prison, because up until that point, you'd seen him fight, but you'd seen it in a joking way. You hadn't seen him actually genuinely fuck shit up, right? And when he sits down and he starts giving it all the mouth to those guys, you're thinking, is he about to get his head kicked in? You know, is he significantly batshit crazy that now he's just going to get his ass handed to him? And when he completely fucks over those guys, you're like, oh!
That's why I liked him. He's such a good character.
That was badass, that moment, because you didn't know. You weren't 100% sure what was going to happen. And I genuinely liked that scene. I thought that was kind of badass.
It was. I just liked it because there was a bit where Peacemaker needs to shoot the senator and his family. Yeah, and he's like, I can't do that. And Morpheus says, I'll give it a go. He just grabs the gun like, like that. It's like, come. That was good. As I said, he was one of my favorite characters. I thought he died at the end at one point because he got to the end and just like everyone went down. So I
thought he was dead several times over, but the fact that he wasn't and that he will be back for season 2 is quite good. I love the ending. I liked the whole Justice League. I can't believe that DC actually let them say, you fuck bitch. And then for Barry Allen to go, come on, it's not a rumor. Fuck you, Barry. Oh dear.
I like that. I think people complained about that, and I'm like, it was contextually correct.
Yes.
It was in the context of the TV show and the way the theming of the TV show and everything that went with it. It was contextually correct. Yeah, it was. I
actually respect DC more for doing that because it's been a long time running joke among geeks for years. Like DC hardcore fans fucking argue about this shit. So the fact that they did that and it was done in a joking way, I loved it. Anybody's got a problem with that, fuck off. It was funny.
But it was great because he had a story about all the superheroes. Yeah, so it was like the one about Green Arrow being a brony. Yeah, dressing up in a costume with a thing for his arse to hang out with. That was just, it was just like, it always just like, I've got a story about this person, I've got a story about this person. It's just like, I enjoyed that. It was good because also the character kind of evolved too. He actually changed. He actually had development. Yeah. Remember when characters had development in TV shows? He had development. Yeah. They all had development in the show.
Yeah, they did. They did. Yeah.
And it's just like, this is like, wow, this is what TV used to be like. Do you remember that?
That's what I loved it. I'm glad you've seen it, and I'm glad you enjoyed it because I genuinely felt that was one of the highlights. I wasn't expecting to like it, but I did. It genuinely was quite good, and I'm kind of glad that it's got a second season. So yeah. Hi Babster, Nigel's doing unspeakable things to donkeys. That's what I'm going with, and that's what I'm sticking with. It's called Payback.
Yes, it's called Payback. That's what you get for calling in late. So, if you call in late, we're less.
You said it right at the beginning.
I know. So yeah, it was good. Eagerly, some gags with that bird. They just threw in so many that they could. I loved the bit with the helmet, where it's like Eagly can fly over there and drop the helmet on the barn, and he goes straight towards the barn and then off into the woods, and then just drops it randomly in the woods. Yeah, that made me laugh. That really did, because it was like it played the music like it was going to happen, and then he just veered off, and I'm like, his dad has chipped him. His dad has put a chip in his head like Scorpius did to Thingy. Yeah, he's done that on purpose. That's not him hallucinating. He's been chipped. Yeah, his dad was quite prolific kind of inventor, shall we say?
I suspect that you're correct there. I think the dad haunting him is going to come into play in season 2. Yeah, I think you're correct.
That's the other thing I really loved. They were like, there was the thing where he kills the butterfly woman at the beginning. in the block of flats, and they turn to the tech guy and they goes, "Quick, change it so the fingerprints don't match up." And he went, "Yeah, sure." And then you find out later that he's changed the fingerprints to that of his dad's. It's like, why did you change it to his dad? That's just like he changed the first name. Just all he did is change the first name. That was it. Boom.
It was
problem solved.
It was a tad dumb. It was a tad dumb.
It was good. It was. I just everything about it was entertaining. I miss entertaining. I love entertaining. You know, you had those bits in there. There were like 3 distinct bits in the show, where you were like, "Oh, fuck off! Would you please? You're going to ruin something that's perfectly good." But outside those 3 bits, it was so good to watch, and so, I enjoyed myself so much. And the wife was watching it along with me, and she thought it was great too. It's like the bit where they go into there's like a factory, and Peacemaker just starts shooting people. And she's like, "What the fuck are you shooting people? I can see it with my X-ray vision. You could have told me that." Yeah, and they have that big fight, and then they come together as a team in the van at the end, and they're all like, and Bosamish takes a picture, and you're like, "Oh, that's oddly heartwarming as people are being murdered in droves."
Yeah. I mean, as you said, each character had a start, a middle, and an end in that season. They had a development. It wasn't just surprise whamming. It was like each character, you know, had a development. The kick-ass blonde at the beginning, she still has a story development, you know, and she goes from being a hard-ass bitch to somebody that you understand and sympathize with. Character development.
Yeah, and it's good because Amanda Waller's daughter, she starts off and you kind of like her because she's the one being nice to everyone. And then towards the end, when she sets him up and does all these other things, you're like, what a bitch. But then she redeems herself towards the end. Still, character, good old-fashioned character development inside a story, which is always appreciated. I love it. Just even the bad butterfly Goth, was it? Yeah, Goth. You know, there's sort of development in there. It's like, oh, we're trying to help, and Goth then pretty much repeats the "I'll kill every man, woman, and child until I get peace" line to Peacekeeper, to which he goes, "Oh, I don't want to be that anymore," and then he shoots. But that was good, and he got buried under the rubble, and you can see him panic a bit. And Watsubush was running down there to help him. The human torpedo joke that made me laugh. She fucking just fires it up and just goes boom into a wall. He goes, "No, don't do it." Oh, and when they're chatting and she's doing the plan, and she goes activate anti-gravity, and the fucking helmet just flies off. Did you say activate anti-gravity? He went, might have done. And then there was the fight with the white supremacists. That's the bit where I think that's the first time I thought that the vigilante character copped it, yeah? Because he lobs the grenade, and he literally just takes the brunt of the grenade. Which is mad.
Yeah, but he wasn't in one of those like Batman-esque suits, which you've got to remember are kind of, you know, grenade-proof in the comic book world. Yeah, look, there are bits where you have to slightly, but the fact that they didn't kill him off, I like the vigilante character. That was the thing, you know. Yeah, he was significantly psycho, but it kind of worked. It did kind of work. And you know, he cares about Peacemaker. He doesn't seem to give a shit about anyone, but he, in his own way, gives a shit about.
Oh no! That was the thing. His development was he started caring about the others.
Yes, he does.
Because there's a bit where they're having the conversation at the beginning of the episode where he turns around and goes, "You're my 5th best friend," like that. To Amanda Waller's daughter. I can't remember her bloody name now. Amanda Waller's daughter, and it's like kind of that means he's considering the other people he's working with his best friends too. Which is great. And again, that shows the character grew, which was fun. That's those good old days of telling stories where things mattered. Oh, I love it. Even small things. Maybe if this was done in 2010s, I might have looked down upon it because quality TV was a lot better back then, but it was still fun. I had a riot.
I thought it was fun, and I enjoyed it. But yeah, I see your point. But I don't know. I liked it. But I am
Okay.
jaded, so you could be right. You could be right.
All right, so for the UK watchers, if you want to watch Peacemaker, it's on Sky Max. You can watch the entire series on demand, be it on Virgin or on Sky. I recommend that you do it. It's good. I've got to check. I left my parents watching it yesterday. I literally found it for them. I started it off and went, right, I'm off. Bye. And I'm going to come back to today and see if they finished watching it and if they enjoyed it too. But that dance. I love that dance. It's just like like weird gorilla creatures. I have no idea. Do you think they just got into a room and said, right, we're going to do the intro today? And then they just came up with some nonsense.
I do believe they actually got sort of quite a famous choreographer in to do it.
No!
But I read it somewhere. I think
the
it was
idea
done.
that they went, let's make some shit up and have some fun.
Well, he does like dance numbers, though, doesn't he? He always seems to put dance numbers in, be it, you know, dance off in Guardians of the Galaxy, but he has that whole dance at the beginning as well, which to me is still fucking brilliant. You know, the bit where you introduce the Star-Lord with that bam, ba da lam, ba da. I still love that intro. It's the greatest intro to a Marvel movie ever.
Yeah.
When Marvel movies were good.
But I remember that. Oh, remember when Marvel movies, we had like...
With the exception of Spider-Man 3, which was Sony as much as it was you, Marvel. Spider-Man 3, still good. But anyway, should we remain on DC and talk about the Batman?
I was going to talk about Halo.
Okay, right. Well, tell me why.
Right, hang on a second. Let me just get this right. So this is what I've heard about Halo first, and you can tell me, right? The director and showrunner has buggered off before it even aired. Okay. And sorry, I just see something. I see something in the chat there. It buggered off before it could even do it. They said that they didn't bother paying attention to the game's storyline, and Master Chief takes his helmet off.
Yes.
And that's where I've gone,
But
and it's a rip-off. It feels Mandalorian.
I've heard an argument. Everything that's ever been created from a game and that has followed the game story has failed. And Sonic the Hedgehog, which is arguably the most successful video game to movie franchise.
Can I just can I make a point?
Yeah.
Just before you said that, you said that every video game thing that followed the story, the closest you've got was the first half of Tomb Raider, the latest Tomb Raider of Alicia Vikander. First half of that, I've not seen any video game adaptations that got even close to matching any of the stories.
Yeah, but they've stayed within those rules that the game set. So at least this is the article I read. Whether it is entirely true or not is you know. But Sonic the Hedgehog, which doesn't stick to any of the game stuff, although there isn't that much mythology in Sonic the Hedgehog, was and is a really good film. I will say this, right? I watched all of the usual lot that, you know, make videos about these things. So Nerdrotic, you know, Hill versus Babyface, and they all seem to be carbon copying each other, right? And I watched that first episode of Halo, and I was like, I think it's going to go the way that you're saying, but based on that first episode, it's not what you're saying it is, right? Now, if you don't know anything about Halo lore, which, okay, I played up until Halo 4, I don't remember the story that much, right? I just remember what the games look like and everything. Visually, it looks amazing. It just looks fucking amazing. When the Covenant attack at the beginning with the swords and everything, it's pretty fucking awesome, right? There is no surprise whamming in the first episode, despite the trailer, right? The Chinese girl, she doesn't do anything. She's not a hero. She runs around and is just fucking lucky, right? And then sees her dad get killed, right? And then she's saved by Master Chief. That's it, right? There's no surprise whamming in that first episode. So all this shit that they're all saying, it's not there. It's coming. I know it is. You can feel
It's
it.
coming.
But it's not.
Okay, that's fair enough.
It's not there in the first episode, right? The entire storyline is Master Chief comes in, everyone gets killed. He doesn't really give a shit. Chinese girl survives, right? Right? By luck, not through her, being an amazing person or anything. It is pure fucking luck, right? And it really does show that, okay? She then gets stuck on the ship, and the USC wants to kill her because if she survives, she's a separatist or a rebel, and if she survives, that politically it's not good, so they're going to kill her off, right? Master Chief has an awakening after touching a Covenant artifact.
Forerunner.
And
it's not Covenant, it's Forerunner.
Yeah. And therefore,
I know it from here.
Therefore, you see, I told you, and therefore he starts having a conscience, starts having memories, and he thinks killing her is bad, right? That's the entire episode. He takes his helmet off. Okay. I don't have a problem with that. Now, I can understand if you're a die-hard fucking, game fan, you're going to have a problem with this, right? I am taking the line that whilst Halo is popular, they have put a $200 million budget into this. You can't make this just for the gamers. And there's a lot in there that I thought was quite cool. Like, when he's getting shot at, his shield discharges and it's got the noise in there and everything. He's got the fucking gun in there. There are stupid things in there, right? There are like vehicles in there that are like 1,000 years old. And that's really stupid. But it wasn't as egregious as everybody's making out. I didn't dislike it. I didn't like it that much. I was a bit, I can take it or leave it, but you can tell they spent a lot of money on it. I'm intrigued about the human girl in the Covenant headquarters.
That doesn't make any fucking sense.
No, but they haven't explained it yet. That's the point. It's like, I get... Certainly, since these channels like Hill versus Baby Place have got so big, right? They don't make videos anymore that give it any time of day. They have to hate it right from the offset because that's their brand. Now, I get a feeling that this is probably going to go bad, but if you look at that first episode objectively, right, it isn't that bad. If you're a die-hard fan of the game, they've probably done some bad things, right? But I'm coming from this as a Nigel. No offense, Nigel. I don't know that much about Halo's storyline. I've played the games, but I don't know that much about storyline. So I'm coming this as a normie, Nigel. I didn't think it was that bad. Sorry, but I didn't think that. Now you might watch it and hate it, but then you might know more than I do. So I can respect that. But I know a lot of these fuckers that are making these videos know fuck all about Halo. They know less than I did. Like that Ryan Kimmel, whatever his name is. You've never played Halo in your life. Don't even try and act like you have. I released played the games. I just never paid any attention to the story.
So, right. So the first problem I've got is he takes the helmet off and it's Pablo Schreiber, or his name is. Yeah. Schreiber. Yeah. Because I always imagined that Master Chief would have a ton of implants. Yeah, he wouldn't look very human. If he took his helmet off and he looked in the mirror, the first question he would do is say, I don't even know if I am human. Yeah, and there's a bit in Halo 4 where I don't even like the games. I can remember it. A bit in Halo 4 where the Didac fires a weapon and it kills all the humans off, but it won't kill any Forerunners off. And because he's so heavily modified, he's so heavily genetically and cybernetically modified, it doesn't kill him. It wipes everyone else out on the station apart from him. It knocks him out on his ass, but he gets up and carries on. So that would be my first worry. Plus, it's like it's you're not supposed to show the face sort of thing. That's the great thing, because the idea of that is that it could be anyone's face. It could be black under there, it could be Chinese under there, it could be anything under there. Yeah. Yeah, as long as he's got Steve Down's voice.
It works in the game, but narratively, as a story on TV, that doesn't work so well. And if they'd stuck to that, it would have been compared to The Mandalorian even more. So I can see creatively why they made that decision.
It is. I'm not joking. It is a big through line from the game.
Yes, I get that.
Him taking his helmet
but
off.
This isn't a game. This is a TV series. I get it, but
no. It comes back to respect source material. Yeah, didn't respect source material. That's the thing. Yeah. He's just thinking.
I don't know. No, because on this one, I think there is an argument as to why they did it. Now, look, this is only the first episode. So if we get 4 or 5 episodes in and it goes down the same route as I feeling it's right, you know, we might all say, yeah, shit, fine. But at this point, there's only been 1 episode aired. And to say it doesn't respect the source material, I don't think you've seen enough to make that judgment. Him taking off the helmet, I can hear the argument as to why they did it.
If you're going to do it, you do it like the Mandalorian. You do it at the end of the season. You keep hinting at him taking his helmet off. It's the surprise. It's the mystery box. What's under there? He's ginger.
Yeah, but again, it would have been accused of being like the Mandalorian. So I suspect that's part of the reason why they made the decision. Look, I'm reserving judgment because I have to apply your 4 episode rule to this, right? Okay. And right now, it didn't do anything that pissed me off. I am a normie, so I will admit that on this, I am the Nigel in this. I've played the games and I noticed elements of the games, and I quite like those elements. I liked the fact they got the shield recharge sound in there and everything. And when Master Chief comes in at the beginning, they fucking kick ass, and it's pretty cool, right? And there's lots of those little game nods there, but it's not a game. It is a TV series, right? And most video game to TV series conversions have not been successful, so they're trying something different.
No, because every time they do them, they do not respect the source material.
Well, there's an argument that they did.
When? Give me an example.
There's an argument. The examples are like they did like Assassin's Creed. The film stuck within
not even remotely close to the game. Not even remotely close to the game. Assassin's Creed is not remotely close to the game. There isn't a guy. Desmond isn't a bartender that's been kidnapped, being held up in an office in some tower somewhere, being interrogated by 2 people. Yeah, that didn't happen. Not even close to the game.
But the main points happened, though, didn't they? In the respect of that, there is an association who is going back.
There weren't these little. They didn't have the thing with the memory frag. Sorry, not Keith. Didn't have the thing with the memory fragments where they find the apple of Eden. Yeah, didn't. It didn't play it at all.
Okay, so the article I read was probably complete bullshit. Then I don't know enough about the subject. The closest
is the Tomb Raider film with Alicia Vikander, and I'm not joking. The first half is like the Tomb Raider game, and that's it. Literally, she crashes on the island, blah, blah, blah. Her dad's not even on the island in the game. I don't know what they were doing there.
I don't know.
So this is the first problem. I've never seen any of them because Hollywood doesn't like video games because they're the media that's kind of replaced them is the first thing. And they're the enemy.
But they have spent a shit ton of cash on this, right? But there was no... Okay, so, right, there is a little bit of the reason I think it is going to go that way is because they've done exactly what they do in Star Trek Discovery and Picard, and every person of power is a whammy, right? And I know that's intentional. So I am getting Discovery vibes from it, right?
Yeah.
So
because the other thing too is they've race swapped 2 characters in there. So they race swapped Jacob Keyes, the one who gets thingy. What do you call it? He gets all floodified. And his daughter, who's the annoying 14-year-old who's bossing you around in Halo 3.
But every show does that, including The Expanse, right? So,
who did they?
The Expanse did it in season 4 with the Doctor female character. In the books, it is the male father character who is in the TV series is taken down to a nobody character, and it's the wife that is the one that is all the thing. But in the book, because I've read all of them recently, so this is how I know they did it, because I watched it side by side. They gender swapped the two characters of the two colonists with the wife and husband. In the book, it's the husband that sets
in the
bombs.
grand scheme of things, that wasn't.
No, but what I'm saying is every TV series does it. So you can't.
Yeah, I know, but you don't do it with.
That's
you don't do it with the big characters, do you? Didn't Avas Arala didn't all of a sudden become a gruff Russian
yeah,
fella?
but Battlestar did it with Starbuck, and Battlestar Galactica turned out to be brilliant. All I'm saying is right.
That was before.
I think
that was before the dark times, Keith.
Yeah. No, look, hear me out here. I think you're right, but I am not going to judge it on one episode because sometimes, just sometimes, things turn out all right. Okay. And I've seen them criticize things. These guys criticize Peacemaker, and Peacemaker was fucking good, right? This is why right now I'm not listening to them because I watched the first episode and I didn't see what they saw. It's got elements of it, and I get the alarm bells, so I think it's going that way. I'm not saying I don't think it is, but look. I mean, the thing is, right, I was told to watch Discovery Season 4 because it's the most Star Trek Discovery's been. And believe it or not, it is.
Who told you that?
Somebody that hates Star Trek Discovery, but has said that you should watch Season 4 because there are actual elements of Star Trek in it. And I hate to fucking say this, but there are. I'm not saying it's good.
No.
This is
the Star Wars. This is the Star Wars hostage syndrome thing.
No. They had somebody in the writing room, and most of them were shit. But they had one person that actually wrote something sci-fi, and you can't take that away from it. They actually had elements of an interesting sci-fi story in Discovery Season 4.
Okay,
and that was this alien race. I always say that.
Let's wrap up Halo. I'm gonna try and find some way to watch it because I think you're right. They do jump on things and they fucking hate things. So I heard Gary's fucking take on the last episode of The Expanse. Yeah, so they complained that the last couple of seasons of Game of Thrones weren't like the book. Yeah, and The Expanse stuck to the books, give or take a few changes. Keith, all right? Agreed?
No, we did. No,
right?
we did.
So they stuck to their. They stuck to their guns to go with the books. Yeah. So roughly same shape as the book, the same. So they did that there. There was a natural stepping off point because of the time jump that you get for the next three books. Yeah. And Gary from Nerdrotic was like, "Oh, he didn't explain the proto-molecule and it's this, that, and the other." It's like, dude, they haven't got time to explain it. They're just going to do what they've done always. Just plod along. Get the story out as it should be.
That's because they're not ending it. They haven't ended it. Season 6 is not the end. They wouldn't have done the Kara what's her face fucking story right on Laconia if they were intending to end it. Right? Because you're going, okay, wrong. Who the fuck is Duarte? Who the fuck is that? What the fuck's going on there? And Duarte at the end of season 6 looking up at the fucking proto-molecule platform going, Like,
I'm going to build me some battleships.
I'm going to build me some fucking ships that are just going to wipe out everything.
Yeah. Apart from the Dark Gods who don't fucking like it every time they fire at their weapon.
Bobby takes it down, even though
Bobby sounds like she fought it single-handedly in the book, doesn't it?
She
goes out,
she did.
It looks.
She jumps out the ship, throws an antimatter bomb in it, realizes that, oh shit, I'm going to die. So what does she do? Like in typical Bobby fashion, she goes and starts shooting the fucking thing. It's like, if you're gonna die, it's a pretty fucking good way to go.
The thing I liked about that was, hang on a second, just Expanse talk for a moment. The thing I liked about that was, like in Star Trek, when they blow up antimatter bombs, yeah, nothing happens. They blew up an antimatter bomb. Everyone on the ship got cancer. They all got, because the massive gamma burst. Anyone who survived and got hit by the gamma burst, doesn't matter how thick the hole was, it was that gamma burst was coming through. So they all wound up with cancer, which I found funny.
I was gutted they killed Bobby where they did. I knew. I
was happy she went out that way.
Gutted for it. But if you're going to go out that way, I like it. I know you mentioned this, but I'm geeking out on the Expansive, but I kind of like how Amos comes back. It's so Amos. It's like everybody else gets fucked up by the proto-molecule, right? And, becomes a bit odd. Amos comes back. He's just Amos. I like that. that's Amos. It fits so wonderfully well.
The humanity that was missing, the proto molecule didn't go missing when they put him back together again.
Amos. I
like the fact that it was when he was defending Teresa, and then Teresa was speaking to the security person. Yeah, he turns around and goes, "Oh, he's there to kill you," and it was like, "No, hang on a second, you guys started firing, and he jumped on top of me so I wouldn't get shot." Yeah, and it's like, I think we're talking bollocks. The other one I like is when Tanaka and her fucking Laconian cronies try and take out Holden and that lot. They shoot Amos, yeah, and then all of a sudden, fucking Alex, who I miss, turns up with Rocinante's, and the PDCs and the Rocinante are the biggest heroes in the Expanse, yeah, and kill Tanaka's crew. There's a bloody pulp, because she wasn't expecting that. She was like, "No, they've got no guns that can hurt us whatsoever." But the PDCs could just tear through you like you're not there.
I like how the Rossi is still a significant battleship 30 years into the future. The Rossi is a hero. The Rossi is a character. But I am on the final book. But I have just downloaded the. Sorry, my wife has just thrown that at me.
Okay.
What the fuck is that?
Some evil dead cat.
It looks like an evil dead cat. Yeah. Okay, I'll keep it. Right, but yeah, I'm loving The Expanse, and I'm glad that I read the books. I actually did really like Book 8. I really liked Book 8.
I like Book 8 too. Book 8 was better than Book 7, and better than Book 9, which is annoying because Book 9's the end book. And I'm hoping that given some time, they can repair some bits that kind of outstanding in Book 9.
Memories Legion is out, which has that short story which happens after Leviathan Falls. So that is out on Audible. So if you have not picked that up yet, you should pick that up. I haven't listened to it yet because I'm listening to it chronologically. But that comes afterwards. So that might tie things up. But I do know that it ends 1,000 years in the future, and Amos is still alive. Sorry, I love that.
I'm a Mandarin shit, mate. That's how we talk to him, because I'm a Mandarin shit, mate. We'll have to just talk normally. Okay, cool. So let's talk about the Batman. So let's just recap. I didn't like the Batman because the Batman didn't save anyone. He pretty much got most people killed, flooded the city, cocked up royally, wasn't much of a hero. Pretty much, as I lovingly refer to him, retard Batman. Now, was that me?
Right, I will say this. It's very, very long. It's way too long.
Yes, it is very, very long.
There are elements that I did like. I like that you get the inner monologue that you get in the comic books. I liked the fact that they had that inner monologue playing. That's something they haven't really done in Batman, and it's something that's in the comics a lot. You know, especially in the latter comics, it's very much in the Dark Knight Returns, where there is a constant Bruce inner monologue fighting his demons, right? And there was an element of that in this, which I kind of liked because it reminded me of the Dark Knight Returns. So I liked that. I wasn't a fan of the Batmobile. It was too muscle car for me. I thought Colin Farrell's a Penguin was fucking amazing. Yes. Actually, he was really good. I did like Jeffrey. As Commissioner Gordon.
Recall him, Keith. Just recall him as a character, because my recollection is, oh my god, oh my god, Jesus Christ! That's it. He just reacts.
There was a bit more. He wasn't given anything more than that, because there was a bit, because he's not Commissioner Gordon yet. He's Lieutenant Gordon, or Captain Gordon, I can't remember, but he's not the commissioner yet. There was a bit of that, but I think there was more. I think you missed some subtle elements there, but I liked Falcone, the comedy actor playing Falcone, actually really did a very good job. And I find him quite sinister, especially when he's got Catwoman down on the ground and he's attacking her, even though he knows that that's his daughter. I thought that was quite, and I knew he was going to get shot. For me, the Riddler didn't work. And I think had you not had, I think Colin Patterson as Batman was good.
Colin
right?
Patterson? You mean
No? What's his name? Whatever his name is, Robert Patterson. Right?
I'm going to see what the actor Colin
Sorry.
Patterson looks like now, so I can imagine him as the Batman.
Robert Patterson as the Batman was quite good. I don't like the suit. I don't like the design elements of the suit or anything when it's related to the Bat. I did like how Gotham looked, although Gotham, there is a lot of Liverpool there. I mean, there is one fucking shot. There is one shot which I know is Liverpool because right at the end of the fucking road, and they didn't even digitally alter it, is the fucking Liverpool building. And it's right from the main road that goes down to the Liverpool building. It's like, that's the fucking Liverpool building.
There are two passes where they show the Liverpool building.
Yeah, well, there was bits where they digitally altered it, but you knew it was the Liverpool building. It was basically. I like the fact that although there was one shot where I instantly recognised it as Liverpool, that Gotham looked gothic, right? Which the latter end of
that. You're right. They did make Gotham because Gotham is a character. Gotham, yes, I always picture it's in my head. Gotham's got like a sickness, like a madness, and that's why you get people like the Joker and Batman because of Gotham itself. And that was
my biggest problem with the last two movies with what's his face in them. The Batman Begins, Gotham is Gotham, right? But that latter end, it's Chicago and New York, and you know it. And that was my biggest problem with that. Whereas Gotham is back to being gothic. It's back to being that character, as you said. And did he save anyone? He has his heroic moment at the end when the Riddler's sort of like cronies are all standing on top of that thing, and he comes in and saves. But he goes a bit fucking stir crazy. But that's not out of character for Batman, but not in year two. Batman in year two was actually more detective-y and less raw. It's actually in The Dark Knight Returns that he loses it, right?
Yes,
and not in year two. So, but I like I get why you didn't like it. There were elements. I don't think I disliked it as much as you, but I don't think I liked it as much as I should do, if that makes sense. As a Batman fan, there's a lot wrong with it, but they've done things that I wish they'd done in the other movies. I liked the detective side of it. I liked the inner monologue side of it. I liked what's his face as Alfred. I actually generally thought he was quite good as Alfred.
And
I didn't think I was going to like it.
Dick to him.
Yeah.
Apart from Bruce was an absolute dick to him. It's like, what the
But they have that. Phase. Yeah, that was the thing. I did not like emo Bruce Wayne. That I really, really disliked, right? I can understand him being obsessed with being the Batman, but the emo side of it was just ridiculous. And that didn't work for me. If they make another one, they've got to fix emo Bruce Wayne. You've got to have the suave, sophisticated Bruce Wayne back, right? You have to have... That's why What's His Face as Bruce Wayne and Batman was so damn good, and why they are still probably the best set of Batman films, because he was very good at both sides of it. I do think Robert Pattinson's Batman was good when he was in the Batsuit. I don't like the Batsuit as much, but he was pretty good in that. But it's not his fault. They made him look too emo, and that didn't work. Look, I can't sit here and say to you, no, you're wrong. You're not. I don't think I disliked it as much as you. It was way fucking too long. And I know what he was trying to do. And in some ways he succeeded, in other ways he failed. And unfortunately, I think he failed in the things that were more important. But I liked some of the elements from the comics that they haven't done before were there. It just could have been so much better. It could have been so much better. And that's what's annoying. It was badly edited. It was way too long, and it could have been really so much better. In actual fact, if they focused more on Colin Farrell as the Penguin, he could have become one of the best sort of Batman bad guys since really Heath's Joker. So and maybe we'll feature him. That's the Joker.
Terrible bit for the podcast for the listeners, but for the watchers, the Joker was supposed to be in this.
He is, kind of.
He is, but not to the extent that they were planning on having him in there. So some images here from IGN, and it's the guy with the shit haircut from the Eternals, Barry Keoghan or whatever. Yeah. And it looks shit. I'm sorry. It looks fucking terrible. It looks like they just mangled a face up and went, no, that'll do as Joker. So instead of they've
done it at this point, but when you see him escape Arkham, maybe it'll be different. Look, I don't know. I can understand why people didn't. I didn't like the Batmobile. I thought the Batmobile was shit. Sorry, but it was.
I like the Batmobile, but for the wrong reasons. If you read Dave's book, he describes the car that the matey has as that car. It's literally, it's almost word for word, with the exception of the giant fucking flaming bit out the back. But
look, don't get me wrong. It's a cool car, but it's not a Batmobile.
No, it's not a Batmobile. It's two regular car with bits on.
Yeah.
It's not custom built.
Scary.
Batmobile.
It's not scary, and the whole point of Batman stuff is everything's meant to be scary, and whilst they play on that with the bat signal, and that works, they got things right. I think this film is frustrating. To me, it was frustrating because they got things right. They got things, the thing I suppose that annoys me is this film could have been good. Had they, not done emo Batman, because Bruce Wayne was never emo. Bruce Wayne was many things, but he wasn't an emo. And they got that, and I don't think that was Robert Pattinson's fault. He was made to look like that, because when you look at Robert Pattinson in Tenet, that's Bruce Wayne. There's that suave, sophisticated thing. When they said, "Oh, we've cast Robert Pattinson," I said, "Well, yeah, look at how he is there. That's Bruce Wayne." Right, and everybody's going, "Oh, yeah, but he can't be the Batman." Well, he nailed Batman, but they made him look like an emo fucker in the thing, and that's what I suppose annoyed me. But look, they got Gotham right, which proved to be more of a problem for Christian Bale's run as Batman, and but although Christian Bale's Batman Begins is still the best Batman movie. Look, I get why you didn't like it, and I will respect your feelings on it. I don't know. Maybe I don't know how many Batman comics you've read. I've got a lot of them, so there were elements from the comics in there that I kind of liked. And
I wasn't Marvel. I'll be honest with you, as a kid, I was a Marvel kid, and it was Iron Man, Spider-Man.
Yeah, I get that.
And that was that, and the English version of Marvel version of Transformers, which were the ones I read. Because there's an English version of Marvel did UK Transformers, and like Megatron, you can tell the difference because Megatron has a dark hat. I think it's the best way of describing it. Just a quick one before we go any further. Colin Pattinson. This is what Colin Pattinson looks like. Could you picture him as Batman?
I know
Radio 5 Live.
Yeah, there you go.
Radio 5 Live presenter.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
Just dressed up as the Batman. Okay, cool. So, what we talk about?
Picard. Right. First off, I want to say there was something I really fucking liked, right? And again, Gary, you call yourself a Star Trek fan. You should fucking well know this, right? Star Trek, there is a Star Trek, The Voyage Home, brilliant Easter egg in this, and it is brilliant, right?
No, I thought it was crap.
No, it was brilliant. Because here's why it's brilliant.
I'll explain why I think it's crap, but you go first. It's
the same actor. It's the same actor, right? And here's another thing. The actor sung the song, right? It's the same song, except with the lyrics in there, "I still hate you 35 years on." which I thought was really good. It's the fact that it's the same actor that I quite liked, right? And I found it funny when he goes, "Oh, sorry," like that, because he looks so fucking like punk in there, and then it's an old guy dressed up as a punk, but it's the same actor, right? And that's what made it kind of cool, okay? And it's obviously the same fucking actor, right? The minute he came on, because I hadn't heard this, and I went, and I saw it, and I heard the music, I went, "Oh, that's the song from Voyage Home." Oh my God, it's the same fucking actor. I recognized him immediately. And I was laughing. I thought, that's fucking brilliant, right? But here's the thing, right? You spend all this fucking time, right, finding the most obscure things in Star Trek history, right? You literally study these episodes and go and pull out things that happened for like a moment in an obscure back-end episode. Two things, you retards. First off, Guinan knows Picard in the 2024.
Time's arrow.
There was two. Thank you, Gareth. Respect, because I was going to say that. Two very, very good episodes of Next Gen, right? Very well-known episodes of Next Gen. Right. Next thing, 10 Forward is called 10 Forward because it's on the 10th deck of the Enterprise in the forward section of the saucer. It is not called fucking 10 Forward because it was from LA. So, okay, when he goes to visit in the future, that's funny, makes sense. In 2024, it does not make any fucking sense whatsoever. Retarded.
Okay.
And I don't get it. You've got these. Go on.
All right. So, right. I'm just going to go back to your right. So let's get this right. It's 2024 according. Is it 2020? It's 2024 according to them. Yeah.
Yes, it's
2024.
Yeah.
They're on a bus in LA. He's got a fucking ghetto blaster from 1980.
I know. Look, it is
seriously, what a waste of time.
It's a member berry.
Do you know what would have been funnier?
As member berries go, it made me laugh.
Hold on a second. Do you know what would have been funnier? Is if it would have been the same person, but he would have been suited and booted, but listening to it on his phone, and they ask him to turn it down. So instead of being this angry punk, he's a well-to-do businessman, yeah, watching it on his phone. And he goes, "Oh, yeah, I'll turn it down." And he'll just like, and then it's the same character, but he's been flipped around, kind of juxtaposed the position that it wasn't.
I get it, but here's the thing: I instantly recognized him as the same actor because of the punk, right? And I know from the fact that it was him singing the fucking song. Okay, that was the thing. He wrote the goddamn song as a joke. He's a producer, I think. I certainly produced Voyage Home, right? But I like the lyrics, 35 years on, I still hate you. It was a nice Easter egg. It was stupid. I get it. People are going to think it was silly. I kind of liked it, right? It's the only fucking thing, right? In a really stupid episode. I'm more annoyed by the fact that actually, by Star Trek history, everyone's dead at the moment, right? And there's clones raging the earth, trying to kill people, right? Because Third World War in around about now. Okay, they are not the first series to forget that. Star Trek DS9 did that, right? And there is another fucking reference to Star Trek DS9. They are going out of their fucking way to reference Star Trek DS9. And this is the thing that annoys me. Obscure references to DS9. That Bajoran tablet, right? That's from one fucking episode. Okay, it released the PAL race, but one bloody episode, right? So they know the history. So what the fuck are they doing with that? Really annoyed me, the Guinan thing. So how does Guinan not know who he is? Guinan knows who he is because Guinan first meets him in the 19th century, right? And that's how they become friends. I mean, it's not like it's not like a thing. It's, as Doctor Who say, it's a fixed fucking point in time. Right?
Right.
It's how Picard knows Guinan. It's why they become friends in the future. It's one of those Doctor Who fixed fucking moments in time. You can't change that shit because then nothing else makes sense.
I know. It's that. The other thing that gets me is the whole Borg invasion of the drummer from Scott Pilgrim's mind, because I can't remember a fucking name. But can you do me a favour? Right? How does Borg? Right, the Borg assimilation happens one of two ways, doesn't it, Keith? They either
Yes.
get you and carve you up and put you back together again, which is what they
That's how
did
they
originally.
started. Yeah,
And
and then
then
they
you have
adapted
the
to
first
use
contact way with the nanites.
nanites. Yeah. Yes.
So
That's
how
how
the
they
fuck
adapted.
did she get infected with nanites over a fucking wireless connection?
She didn't, because the writers of all these Star Trek series, you've got one person that obviously knows what he's talking about, but sometimes gets drowned out by idiots, right?
The next question is, yeah, right. They can't get the heating working on the spaceship, but they can get the cloaking device working.
I knew you were going to say
The
that.
cloaking device that uses enough power to do a warp drive with, yeah. That's why you can't. It's one of those things where you have to kind of balance
like,
the whole thing
but
out.
that cloaking device hadn't been running for at least a day, right, before they switched it on. Are you seriously telling me that Chateau Picard is in the middle of fucking nowhere? Like, there is like a 20-mile fucking circle of no one, and I mean absolutely no one living around there that isn't going to notice a big fuck off starship crashing. Right? No one is going to have seen an asteroid coming in that looks suspiciously like an alien spaceship.
Okay, next thing, yeah, you got Raffi with a fucking phaser pistol in the window, and then she hacks the car, and even 7 of 9 just turn around and goes, "What was the fucking point of that?" I know why, because she's gonna shoot someone later. That's why they're doing it. She's gonna shoot and kill someone later, which is gonna have ramifications.
Here's the thing to you, all you normies, right? Hollywood still hates women, right? Hollywood's never liked women. It still hates women, because even when it's elevating women to be strong, Raffi's still a bitch and really unlikable and dumb. Like, and I'm sorry, but she was the commander of the Excelsior. To go from that, and just because one person got killed, hell, I will say this again, and I can't fucking believe I'm going to say this. It's going to hurt me to say this, Gareth. It really is. But even season 4 of Discovery, when Burnham loses, right, or thinks she loses the man that she loved, she still acts like the captain. In the end, she's still the captain of the Discovery. And I don't like Michael Burnham, but I will give them that, right? That in that moment, when she loses the man, she cries, she realizes that everybody's relying on her, she becomes the captain of the Discovery. That's why I'm saying that there are elements of Star Trek in Discovery Season 4. And it hurts me to say that, because it's still shit. But that Raffi's just, no, I'm sorry. Just no. None of the female characters are any good, with the exception of 7-9, who they've destroyed because for no reason at all, 7's suddenly a lesbian. And that annoys me beyond anything else. That is the most egregious thing. She is an established character. She has never, ever wanted Bush. She is, sorry, I'm being really, but it's already well established. She had several relationships in Voyager. They were all men, right? She's not a lesbian. And even if she was, Raffi?
Yeah. I watch it like a car crash. You know, you drive past a car crash on the motorway and you're like, what the fuck have they done? That's what Star Trek cards like to me.
The first 2 episodes were actually kind of watchable, right? But the minute they got sent back and Raffi became Raffi again, and, you know, the drama from Scott Pilgrim became that egregious. She murdered someone, by the way, guys. And, you know, she became stupid again. Picard became subservient to all the women again and looked like an old man again. It's just gone back to season 1 again. The first 2 episodes, the rest of it, shit. And that's a pro. And that it's just like, and I hate to say this, I'm going to say it again. Actually, Discovery Season 4 was better than this, and that's saying something, because I really don't like Discovery. I had nothing to watch, Gareth. I had 0 to watch, and I had
loads of stuff. I can give you a list of things to watch. Seriously, I can give you a list of things to watch.
Look, I will say this: they did something semi-sci-fi this time round, and it's the most Star Trek thing that Kirksman has ever done, and that it's more Star Trek than even the J.J. Abrams thing. And in actual fact, arguably, they've done something new in Star Trek in the fact that they encounter an alien race that they can't just talk to through a universal translator, and there isn't wiggle your fucking sonic screwdriver and everything will be all right. And that's what kind of made it interesting. Burnham was the least Burnham-like she has ever been. She's still Burnham, but she's the least Burnham. Like they got rid of the weird kind of gender binary, gay, transgender relationship thing pretty quickly, because that was just didn't work.
It's interesting. And right. This is depressing me. So, it's yeah. I don't know what to say. I think you might have cracked, Keith.
Look, I didn't have anything else to watch, and I thought, look, people keep banging on about how season 4 was so much better. Don't get me wrong. Look, they've done something weird with the Ferengis as well. I don't know if you see, there's a Ferengi, there's briefly a shot of a Ferengi in Picard, but you see the Ferengi a couple of times in Discovery, and it looks like their fucking faces are melting. They look like a Ferengi, but it looks like the makeup's all melted. It's like they've got. It looks like they put a Ferengi latex mask from Next Gen on him, and he's gone and sat out in the LA sun for 2 hours. It's melted. That's what it looks like. It's really weird. It's really weird.
To cheer me up, I'm not going to put the music on. I'm just going to run this in the background because I just think the dance is so stupid. It's really enjoyable to watch. Because I want to end on a fun note, and this was silly fun, which is the best way to do it. I will see if I can find a way of watching the Halo series, just to go through. I do understand some of the Halo lore bits, I'm not the biggest Halo person, but it's still. Yeah,
I genuinely think that these people will end up being right about it. What I suppose I find of a problem is that there's a couple of things that they've hated which didn't deserve the hate, and that's why I'm sort of like, what I didn't hate Halo Episode 1, I will probably end up hating it.
Okay,
but I didn't hate, and I am glad I watched this because this was really enjoyable.
It is. There were some bits in it which aren't particularly.
Did you guys? I missed the bit where you guys covered the Adam project the other on the thing. Did you kind of agree that there was a reason why that film was on Netflix and not in the cinemas?
Yeah, it was. We described it as a straight to the equivalent of a straight to video sort of thing. I did. I'm not sure if Nigel did. It was fun. It was like, okay, I think Netflix needs to up their game because they are becoming a little less relevant now with all the competition that they've got, like Stranger Things, those Disney Marvel series that have all gone off of Netflix now. They've all moved over to Disney Plus. So you've got no Luke Cage, Daredevil. Did they leave Iron Fist behind is the question, which would have been a wise move.
There is an interesting documentary coming up, which I hadn't realized they were filming, which is the build-up to SpaceX's first human flight. Now, the first SpaceX documentary that was on Netflix recently was actually pretty good, so that might be quite interesting. That comes out next week.
I've been going a lot of real crime drama. I think that I'll be honest with you, Amazon is kind of beating Netflix out for me at the moment. The third season of The Boys is coming up. I'm hoping they're going to repair. The boys are supposed to kill the superheroes when they go out of line. Yeah, you didn't have to have them kill Stormbringer or Stormfront or whatever her name was. Okay, that's fine, but they needed to kill someone that season, at least one person. They didn't do anything. Yeah, There's a cartoon called The Boys Diabolical, and there's a great one with Billy Butcher and what's his mush, Simon Pegg, and it looks like Simon Pegg too, so it looks comic book accurate, which they did, which was great to watch. And then they had one with Homelander and Black Noir at the end, again great to watch. This Amazon's kind of beating them out at the moment, but go watch Peacemaker. It's fun. You'll enjoy it. It's good. So, Keith, is there anything you want to say?
Not really. Thank you, and see you in the next episode. Yeah.
And we have a friend who's starting up a podcast, but I've got no real details apart from he's starting up a podcast. When I get details, I will share said details. So stand
Who's
by.
Who's the friend that's
Babster.
starting up? Ah, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, so Babster's starting up. I just need some details from that, because it's naturally when our episode comes up, because we're going to do an episode with us, we're going to plug the shit out of that one. So it's goodbye from me.
That's goodbye for me.
See you in the next podcast. Bye.